Are we live, everybody? We're having some issues this morning. How's everybody doing today? Are we good? I want to make sure that you can hear me loud and clear. Awesome. Yay! Oh my goodness. We're going to have a morning of hope. Absolutely. This is, we didn't have music this morning. I told y'all I'd have music 10 minutes early, and we had some technical difficulties and weren't able to, but listen, I am so happy to get with you all today. It's going to be awesome. We have got, you see who we have, Dr. Gerrie, Greg Soukoreff, and y'all are going to be encouraged. You're going to be aware. You're going to get a lot of knowledge this morning. And it's going to be a great day. And I think that it's so important that we bring hope to anybody and everybody. We don't have to be all doom and gloom in such a doom and gloom time, and it's so very important that we understand what we're bringing to the table, what Carrot Bars brings to the table for us. And, one thing that I know is whenever I began to, first of all, let me tell you, I'm Quenna. I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas. And Russ and I, we have a building business. And I know that we have, lots of guests that will be on today. It is going to be a phenomenal segment, because I think one of the greatest things that we have is, like right now, people are talking about, they want to be immune to the coronavirus. I think that it's very serious, what people are dealing with health-wise. But it's in times like this. I mean, is it not the craziest? Like it is the craziest thing to me, what all is going on, and the fear but also the spreading of the word, and businesses, having to close, and schools having to close, and people having to stay inside, and grocery stores. I mean, it is nuts. One of the things that I think that Russ and I, those times in your life where there are key points, key time frames in your life to where that there was a definite change in your life, a definite change. And when Russ and I were educating financially, we still do that. But one of the things was saving gold. And we didn't really know how to do it. We were learning that it's not an investment, that using it like the wealthy use it is really financial insurance. And it was so funny, because I was thinking, we're with this virus and all that, we're taking all these precautions to make sure that we're safe, that we're immune to that we don't get out there and we're trying to learn more about the virus, or they're trying to teach us, or trying to find out how to guide us to stay safe from it. And I was, we've got emergency, I'm talking about things that, boost up your immune system. So emergency, airborne, different things that you can get to boost up your immune system. And you know how awesome I think that it is? I think that it's so awesome because everything that's going on in the economy, what gold does help you understand immune to crises. So when we definitely, we have a virus. We have a virus out there. But there are so many things that are being affected by this problem that we have. And one of the things is financially. And I think about, just all the stuff that's happening, with business owners, with individuals, with families, with jobs, employees. It's crazy to me. And you see people panicking and all of that. And in the financial aspect though, I'm so happy for the foundation of what this company does. And you're going to hear a lot of information today. I want you to open your mind up, because the thing is, we get so trapped in the knowledge that we have. And when we don't open it up to where you hear some different stuff, you really close out some awesome opportunity. And so we're going to bring that to you today. I cannot think of, of anybody better to do that than Greg and Greg. And so I'm very excited. Let me cover some things first before we get into, here we go. Okay. Let me cover, we've got an important training today. It does say March the 7th. It was originally scheduled for then, but it's going to be an amazing training today at noon Central, 1:00 p.m. Eastern, with Teresa Humes, Go Director Elite 2. And she has got an awesome training. You don't want to miss it. It will be recorded. So you that are affiliates and you're not able to attend, it'll be recorded where you can go back and grab the recording. But if at all possible, you can be there and attend live, that would be wonderful. I think you'll be very, very pleased that you did. You're going to be able to go to the same channel, synergygoteam.com, and get plugged right in. And it's an amazing, it's a monthly training that we do, but it's the top leaders of the company that do it. And it's always different. And so looking very, very forward to that. And so it's going to be amazing. We're going to get right to it today because, we've got tons and tons of stuff that's happening in Carrot Bars, definitely. But I wanted to have a special segment today with these guys. And it was something that I thought about last weekend. And I don't know, did you guys attend the Super Saturday that we had? And if you did, then I am sure I've not heard one negative thing. If anything that I've heard, it is comment after comment after comment, how much they enjoyed Dr. Greg's segment of where he was talking about the economy. He's very, very knowledgeable about that. He is an author of a book, Fired Up. I remember, well, actually, I met Greg at my very first Carrot Bars meeting. It was in Vegas in November of 2014. That's how long we've known each other. But I also met Greg Soukoreff then as well. And that's the thing that I love about Carrot Bars are the people that have been with Carrot Bars for so many years. It's an amazing, amazing company. But last, at the Super Saturday, Greg was he was spot on, tons of knowledge. We need some answers, y'all, and we need some hope, and we need to be able to share that with people. And with Carrot Bars, also what I love about this company is it's free to get an account. You can just secure yourself, your family. You don't have to share it with people. But what I find is that when you start learning more and more about it, that's how it was in my life, you want to share it because you want to bring hope to people. And it's an honor and a privilege, Dr. Greg, to work with you on a regular basis in the leadership and all of that and leading the company. And thank you so much for getting with us today. Love to hear you speak, the way you communicate. So good for us to understand. And so I'm going to turn it over to you. I'm going to let you guys just take it away. And I know you'll introduce Greg here in just a minute. And I've turned my screen share off because I know you're going to take over.
I'm going to turn mine off.
So I hope that, yeah. And so thank you so much. I'm going to turn it over to you. And
how am I coming through, Quenna? Is that okay?
You're cutting in and out on us.
How's that? Check 1, 2, 3. Am I there?
Yes, okay? You are.
Good. Mm-hmm. Hey, well, hey, Quenna, I just want to say thank you so much for your leadership. This has been quite a run. And I don't know about you, everybody, but are you feeling that everything that's happening is surreal? It's like, Quenna, I went to my bank yesterday and it was closed. Now there's closing the smaller branches. I went to buy some silver and gold yesterday.
Out of stock, I bet.
They ain't got none.
They don't have any. I know.
Ain't got none. Just crazy times. So let me get my my slide deck up here. So I just want to say I really appreciate you, Quenna, and it's not about who knows what and who's smarter right now, who's more successful. I tell you, this is a time of community. Community. And I love it. I think it's neat to put the unity part, but like the emphasis on unity. because there's going to be there are some crazy things, and it's going to get more crazier. Sorry, folks, that's just the ruthless rules of reality. So I'll tell you what, more than ever now, we need to stick together. We need to help our neighbor. And it's almost like we have a more powerful responsibility, a higher calling now to succeed in this realm. I don't care if you're a first-time guest on today. When you find out what this is, you're going to go, okay, I can do this for me. I can do this for my family. But when you get the highest vision, you'll see you can do this for your community. This is a powerful, powerful thing we're doing here. So let's get the share going here, and away we go. And there we go. Okay. So the first thing I always remind people, and look, this is not a religious program, but I'll tell you what, the Bible stands for basic instructions before leaving earth, right? So God's not giving you a spirit of fear. And that's the biggest enemy of us right now, is that we get into the fear zone. When you get into a fear zone, you can't think right? So let's help each other to focus upward and outward, working with each other to do a good thing, whether it's carrot bars or anything else. So God's not giving you a spirit of fear, but of power and love and sound mind. And today, hopefully today, we're going to give you more of a sound mind with some tools here, with some strategy here. Now look, here's what's going on right now. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. My goodness. My sister is a financial planner. She's retired from a bank up in Canada here. Very, very smart gal. And you know what? I said, sis, you know, you ought to get some gold. No, it's going to be okay. We're going to ride it. Well, so there's a lot of people who are starting to get it, waking up, and there's some people that have their heads in the sand. Look, what can we do? We go forward with what we have in love and power. That's all we can do. We can't convince people into what we're doing. We can't drag people. But here's the thing. Winston Churchill was credited to a large degree for winning the World War II. And he said, those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Well, look, we know what happens in these times. We know what happens when you run a paper-based currency system. It's trouble. Now, look, for those of you who saw this last Saturday, I just want to say that repetition is the mother of learning. And so we're just going to do a really short economics section here this morning. And if you want to get it more intensive, go to my YouTube channel and look for my economic videos, but also best in the world. You really want to understand what's happened in history and what's happening go forward. Look at Mike Maloney's Hidden Secrets of Money, especially episode number 7, okay? If you really want to understand this. So here's just a bit of an overview. 100 marks, 1917, 1 ounce of gold. 3 years later, not 100 marks, 1,000 marks to 2,000 marks for an ounce of gold. We always use gold because it's the marker, because it's real money. And back then, look what was happening in this time of hyperinflation. And I tell you this not to belabor history, but to say that history really does repeat itself. Here's a German gentleman in that box there. It didn't come out very well, but those are stacks of bills. He's going there to buy some food with stacks of bills. And what happened? Printing presses. Now, printing plants with paper mills were just out of control, 45 million marks a day. Then it went to 15 million. Oh, you're saying that's going down. No, it's not going down. They increased the notes to 50,000 marks each, okay? And so what else? Here's what's going on today. Same thing. We've got markets that have crashed all over the world. Bo Polney predicted it back in January. He's a psychoanalyst, and the markets since January down 37%, and we're not done yet, okay? And so it's not just America, not just Canada. Everything has crashed. Now, the VIX index is the fear indicator. It's how willing investors are willing to invest. This one is now 5 days old, and now it has actually exceeded what happened in 2008. So the fear index, or the lack of willingness to invest, is the highest in recorded history. Okay, and you know that you've all heard it now, that the Fed is pumping, pummeling, pouring money into this system. We're not. What I was having an argument the other day with Howard Olson. He said, now we're in the order of trillions. They're talking about pumping in trillions. I go, no, it's not, Howard. It's in the order of billions. Well, I don't know. Let's go back and look at it. Sure enough, it's trillions, okay, to address this crisis. Now, look, some of you think, well, it's because of the coronavirus. Well, yes and no, okay? The corona is the black swan. The corona was the pin that pricked the multiple bubbles that have been going on in society, okay? And it was the trigger. If it wasn't this, it would have been something else. The whole thing has been a house of cards. But here's the key right now. The key is that even though they're injecting billions leading to trillions, it's not working. Good money is being poured after bad money. It's like it's vaporizing, right? And can you believe it? That the interest rate, look at the far left there, the interest rate from the Fed is actually zero. I mean, is this surreal time or what? It is just hard to believe where we've come. Just stimulus packages everywhere. Here up in Canada, same thing. The government is having to dole out money to keep the sanity of the people at bay. Yeah, yes, Quinta, I love how you posed it. Like, people are now in need. It doesn't matter that people have been wrong to, rely on the governments. That it has been wrong that they've been, haven't started their own. It doesn't matter all the reasons to where we got to where we got. The point is, it's now time. We are here, and we need to help each other, and that's the key. So again, you can go back and look at a lot of economic data that this was 100% predicted what's happened. And if you want to know how it's going to continue, study those videos. And again, I'm sorry, the ruthless rules of reality, it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. But we have good news. And I tell you, you have no choice but to push forward with a positive mind and a positive heart. And you, in this system called Karatbar's Gold Standard Bank, are surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses who know about what's going on and who know about what to do to mitigate this disaster that's upon us. So love what Winston says here. A pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity, and optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. Now, how about we adopt that? Now, listen, I have the privilege, the pleasure of working with the gentleman that got me into this Karatbars business, and he runs like that. And I'll tell you, this guy is tough. 26 years as a construction foreman, but I'll tell you, a lot of people say people in construction are intellectual and they can't fit. Are you kidding? This guy is so smart. Everything I say, I run it by Greg first. And he'll say, well, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Now that doesn't sound right. He's got a pastor's heart. He loves people. He will go, I've seen him in the last, since we started working together, I've seen him go and help people even where he knew he would gain zero benefit. So, and he's tough, man. This guy is so tough. He eats 2-inch spiral spikes for breakfast. He had some medical issues last year, and there he was kind of in a gurney and tubes hooked up to him all over the place, and yet he's still on the phone helping people in Karatbars. So Greg, can you come on and let's work this together? Are you there? You are. So
thank you, Greg.
I hope you're introducing. I just have such profound respect for who you are, you've got the right heart, you've got the right mind, and you've got the right voice. So, and we do a lot of these things together, and I just learn so much every time you open your mouth.
Thank you, Greg. It's great to have someone of your passion that I can run with. We all need individuals in our life for support. You know, sometimes we're in the ditch and we need a tow truck, and down the road a few months, our partner is in the ditch and we need to be the tow truck. So there's a give and take here, Greg, that I've totally valued with you. Iron sharpens iron, and we're getting sharp.
Tremendous, tremendous. Well, Greg, I love how you put this dialogue together for this time we're in. So I'm going to let you lead this, and I'm going to be your sidebar guy here.
Okay, is Quenna there? Quenna, could you?
There she is.
So
I'm here.
One of the most valuable things I can do for you specifically is through this process. I'm going to treat you as if you're struggling in the world. You've just been slammed. You've got uncertainty and fear. You've just lost 35% in your shares. You're dealing with this chaos. Perhaps you're coming home and there's uncertainty of when you're going to get back to any version of norm. And also you're experiencing the real pain in the currency. So you're aware of things. Last night you didn't sleep. You know, you've been dropped into the situation that we've been talking about, the possibility of this maybe at one point could happen. We are now in the middle of the reality. So all normacy bias is destroyed, and now there's fear and uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
So I need you to come not as a person who has the knowledge that we all have. I need you to sort of put yourself in the position of the persons out there. They've worked a lifetime. They were looking at possibly, hopefully retiring in, you know, a few years, and they're watching their equity just absolutely collapse, and they're watching this chaos. So if you can put yourself in that, and I will come to you as someone that, you know, that we've had a relationship for a while, we've known it, and I'm reaching out to you to try to get into your space, to be that answer that you and your husband were on your knees last night praying for, and now I've come into your life, reconnected, and I want to take you through this process of giving you peace and understanding the value and in that narrative, weaving in carrot bars as not only part of that solution, but I think one of the most perfect solutions. And then I'm going to talk to you also as if you're struggling and you're looking for that. So if you can just play that role, this will be the most effective for everyone, and we'll understand the value. Fair enough?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so a very simple question. What would peace of mind be worth to you right now?
I think that it would be everything to me.
Well,
You know, my relationships, it's because I don't have peace right now. I mean, I've lost so much, and it would mean the world to me.
so if in about 7 days we could do a few things and something you can actually do, that you would have a peaceful night rest. The world won't have changed, but the way your position you can get yourself in could provide that level of peace and assurance, and dare I say hope. Would that be of value to you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it would be of value to me. I just don't, I feel like I've gone so far, you know, it's gone so far. I mean, I'll be willing to look at it, anything.
Okay. Next. So let me ask you this. Would you like to stop that bleeding that's causing you so much pain? And would you be interested in something that legitimately could recover the loss that you've just experienced? You've had a lot spill out into the street. It would be great not just to have the stability, but recovery.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And everybody has to know I am big time skeptical. So something like this sounds, you know, too good to be true as far as recovering my losses and then a plan. I mean, I'd be willing, I'm going to look at it. I would love to look at it, but I don't see how that can happen. I've lost a bunch.
Yeah, no problem. I understand. And with the practical side of things, to bring some extra cash flow into your family to help mitigate this financial pain you're feeling, would that be of value?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to take about 15 minutes and I'm going to communicate to you both what the problem is so you have clarity, what's causing your pain.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use maybe 5 minutes to actually give this, and you're going to find the solution is actually very simple, believe it or not. Okay?
Awesome.
So this is where we're at. And we, over the last number of years, you know, can I get a witness? Right? So I haven't been grocery shopping for a long time to fill up one of those carts, but you know, I, like you, are kind of skeptical and I wanted to, you know, get some proof in the pudding. So here we are with this virus thing, and not that I live in fear, but why not? Let's get a month's worth of food. And so I did that. I went, this was 3 days ago. I went to my local place, and that's the largest. I mean, I'm usually the basket guy every 2 days. So this was like, I was freaking out. What do you think that cart full of food cost me 7 days ago, Quenna?
Is that for real over there that I'm seeing on the right side?
That's for real.
Wow.
$500.
Yep. Oh my Lord.
Yeah, oh my Lord. I said, oh my God, because I took it to the higher power, but I couldn't believe it, right?
Yeah. Oh my
But that's
goodness.
the reality. So here we are in this perfect storm where our money's losing it. These, Quenna, are 20s in Venezuela. 10 years ago, 120 could buy 1 or 2 chickens.
Mm,
Now, do you deal with cash, like physical cash?
not much.
So I have a couple guys in my circle of influence that dealt in cash in one point in their life, and they're all reformed now. But I said, if those were 20s for that chicken, well, let's go to the toilet paper, because that's all the hyper thing.
Yeah.
How many, if those were all 20s, how many dollars would that represent, Quenna? You think, just a guess.
Oh gosh.
Like US 20s?
US 20s.
I have no idea.
That's about $10,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and ugh.
So let me ask you this, Quenna.
Oh gosh.
If in your local store, the ticker price on the shelf said 1 roll of toilet paper, not the whole pack, was 10 grand, are you trying to find an alternative?
Absolutely.
How about the chicken? That's 50 grand.
Man.
You know what, Greg, I there's something that you said earlier that, you know, you said, okay, so now that normalcy bias is taken care of. Well, I think we're in this slope right now, because everybody recall normalcy bias is your brain circuits just cannot recognize or realize or understand that this is really happening, or that this could happen. No way could this happen. And yet he showed you the basket cart, which was $20 not too many years ago. So this is not an outrageous proposition. It happened in Venezuela. Is it going to happen here?
Well, here's the interesting thing, Greg. There is about 5 nations in the world that are the canary in the mine, and if you think that it's going to stop with them now that we're in a global thing, either that's a lack of knowledge or you're just being denial. So Quenna, this is the snapshot. You've worked for 40 years or 50 years, and you set aside, and you and your husband were, you know, beginning to start contemplating slowing down and maybe taking it easy, and you've just lost 30%. Now, it's not just the stock market that has gone to its knees. How many thousands of people in this last month have hit their knees because of this?
That's right.
What is the psychological impact on a person who's worked a lifetime to see it vaporize in a month? What does that do to someone?
It kills them. And it affects, I mean, they lose sleep, right?
Yeah.
The hope vanishing of, if you don't have hope, you don't have anything. It affects your health. It affects your relationships. It's terrible. It's devastating.
And my question to you, and we'll get to it in 1 second here, is there anything that you can do to stop that bleeding that you know of? If it's done it in the last month, is it the possibility that over the next 2 or 3 months, it might do it to the same degree? Is that a real possibility?
I do not know of
The
anything
diving of the stocks, you mean, Greg?
No, yeah, go to the previous screen.
Yeah.
So this happened in the last month and a half,
Right.
right?
Yes.
Is there any strategy you know that the government has, that you have personally, to prevent this? Does your financial planner, has he come to, don't worry, Quenna, I've got a strategy, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to help you stop it, and we're going to have, oh, by the way, there's a way to recover. Is that conversation occurring?
No.
How about a really high-end photocopier, Greg?
So there's been one market that has gone the exact opposite. And the next screen, Greg, is going to show you gold. Did you know gold went up 25% this last year, Quinta?
No, I didn't.
Do you know that they're saying, the experts, and I'm not a financial planner, I'm a carpenter who was in trouble, who found a solution, that is reaching out, and you're going to have to do your own due diligence, and we're going to point you to some other people that are much brighter than us to verify it. But this is just facts. And they're saying if the market continues to crash, gold will continue to go up. Did you know that?
No, I didn't understand. I've heard of people investing in gold, but I didn't know how that worked.
So one of the oldest narratives around gold is a hedge against inflation. Do you understand what that means?
I don't know if I fully know what that means. So if you could explain it, that'd be awesome.
Okay, so here's a visual. You know, a sponge that you use to clean your car with, you know, the size, that sort of size, and it's dripping full of water.
Yeah.
Right now, it's being squeezed, and in the last month, it had about 30% of the water that it was holding is now in the street.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Yeah.
it looks like it's going to be continued. And the problem is, it's not water, it's your equity that's being squeezed out and going down the gutter. And that's why you're not sleeping, and how do you stop the squeezing? You're not squeezing it, and you can't stop the squeezing it. And that's what's creating the huge level of anxiety. Would that make sense?
Yeah.
So let me ask you, if you had another sponge of equal size and capacity, that whatever got squeezed out of that was absorbed by the second sponge, and therefore, even though it transferred from this sponge to this, your actual value of equity was not affected. It's not that it's worth more, but when one gets squeezed, the other one absorbs. So at the bottom, when you look at how much do I have in my assets, it's balanced. You haven't lost. Let's say you had 200,000. Okay, it gets squeezed here, but it gets absorbed there. You're still worth 200,000. Would that allow you to have a little bit more peace that it's not going down the drain?
Yes. Is there something like that? I mean,
That's gold. That's gold.
That's
so
amazing.
as all money or currency or real estate gets squeezed, if you have a small sponge of physical gold in your possession, it's like the teeter-totter. And as much as gets squeezed here, it gets absorbed here. Robert Kiyosaki had a lot of equity in real estate, and it was starting to get squeezed. So guess what he owns the majority of what his portfolio is gold. No, he's not a gold guy. He's just a smart guy.
Mm.
And he said, if at some point there's a tipping point and gold has gone up, and he can take an ounce of gold and buy $200,000 worth of real estate sometime in the future, he'll swap his gold for real estate. But right now, it's going from real estate to gold because that's where money's going. So this is our cash gold, Quenna.
Mm.
And we have such a simple solution. Do you have, in the house you live in, do you have fire insurance?
Yes.
How long have you lived in that neighborhood?
In this neighborhood, 4 years.
Okay, so in the 4 years you've lived there, how many houses have burnt down, you know, in the general area that you live?
None that I know of.
And yet you've got fire insurance.
Yes.
Gold is fire insurance for cash. You say, well, I don't think the cash is going to fail. I don't think my stocks are going to fail. Well, for the remote possibility in your community, there's probably 20,000 homes and you don't even know of one burning down, and yet you've got fire insurance for your house. Would it not make just practical sense to have fire insurance for your money in the form of gold?
Yeah, I didn't even know you could get insurance for your money.
It's gold.
Wow.
And so, and here's the beautiful thing. If the money doesn't go down, you can always sell your gold and get it. There is no harm. You know, if it doesn't get squeezed and the gold doesn't absorb it, no harm, no foul. But if it gets squeezed and you've got gold and you are going to sleep. But if you don't have the gold, your uncertainty and fear is going to factor, you know, as it gets close and close to zero, you know. So
Yeah.
I want to present you something so simple that's been done for generations. This is not a risk play. This is not a gamble. This is something that is through the course of history. Whenever money is doing what it is, people have gone to gold to protect themselves, to give themselves that sense of peace and stability. Make sense?
Yeah, just, you know, what's coming in my mind though is I mean, I've told you I'm losing sleep because we've lost so much money just this week.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I can afford it, you know?
So let's say you have 100,000, you've just lost, you know, 30,000.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you to take all of it and turn it into gold. But if you take a portion of it and turn it into physical gold that you actually have in your hand, whatever the other, this is not about coming up with new money. This is taking it, turning it from some stock or bond or whatever, or savings, and put it into physical gold. It's just a different asset. It's just a tier one. So there's not a risk here. It's just simply saving in gold that's not attacked by all the stuff that's going on around us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Greg, you know, the narrative about the insurance, it's like we've been speaking about this for 6 years now, longer actually. And, you know, there was no burning houses, but we're in a time now where you can actually see that some of the houses are starting to burn, and yet we still have the opportunity to get the insurance because gold has gone up, but is not into its meteoric rise yet. It's a golden opportunity time right now to get that insurance.
Now it's time to do it.
So this is our gold. You see the top one there? It's got the single little flake, the blue one. That's about $5 US. The one that has two is about a $10 US, a 20 US on the right, and a 30 US. And then we've got the 1 gram. That's about a $50 US. The 1 gram. The 3 grams is about 150. 1 second, Greg. And the last one, the 6th one, is about 300. Okay.
Okay.
So we're turning your cash into these small that if you had to use them in barter, you could. It's not big bricks of gold, okay?
All right.
It's just a better form of currency. Okay, Greg?
Called transactional gold. Yeah.
Transactional gold. Now,
What's
Quenna,
this?
let's talk about recovery. Okay, that will give you stability. But how do we recover what you've lost in this last period of time?
That's what
Okay?
you're gonna tell me that.
This is what we're going to tell you. There is a segment of the market that if you had a small, that's even smaller than your gold amount of gold. You know, if the gold is 15 or 20%, we're talking maybe 5% into this new space called digital currency, like the Bitcoins. Did you know 5 years ago, when these coins were just getting traction, you could get them for a song? Look at the one there, you know, $2.51. You went up to 130. You've got 270. So all of these, look at the percentage gains in 5 years, Quenna.
That is crazy.
But it's also reality.
Yeah. Huh.
And I'm going to relate this. Now let's just look at hang on one second, Greg. Look at the value in 2015. They were just, you know, a few dollars, okay? At some point, all those coins were pennies. Someone picked them up for pennies, maybe a couple years earlier, right? And then when they got a bit of traction, but then when they had real acceptance, look at the value of them. So even if I could help you get to the value of the first column by getting you one at a discount and put you into this space, that would be a benefit. I'm going to show you. So the next screen, Quinn, is this one here. 2 years ago, that gold that you saw,
Yeah.
there was a coin created. So it was actually digital gold. All the other ones are just electronic. You could have bought that digital gold coin for half a cent 2 years ago. Okay?
Okay.
In a 14-month period of time, so we're talking last year, April, it ran to 15 cents.
Okay.
And so what we think is impossible, because there's nothing out there that has that sort of, except for crypto.
Right.
And so if I were to say to you that this offer, because of a reset that's gone where two coins became one, is now being offered again, where you can pick up this new coin that's about 8 weeks old, that's from the same company, it's redeemable by gold, but you could pick it up for about the same value as that first screen, and had the real possibility over the next year or two to do this again. There would be the possibility of you recovering what you've lost without selling the farm to help to get yourself in a position to do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now this is not guaranteed. Now this is fact. Okay. And now we've done the reset, and the intention and the belief is that we're going to be able to duplicate this result with the same company with its new coin, its sister coin, as it were. Okay. So one more time, Greg. So here's what we'll do this. One more screen, okay? Please, Greg. Okay. So the first play, Quenna, is you and your husband sit down. You would figure out how much of your equity and all your things, of how much you would turn into physical gold. All right? That's the foundation that you need to establish. Okay?
Okay.
And that will give you your peace of mind. Okay, what I'm going to show you is the one that will give you hope, because of the possibility of recovering all that wealth that's on the dirt floor. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to talk to you strictly as someone. How would you do that? And so this is how we have a package, and I'm talking about the purple box one. Okay.
Okay.
It's 4,500 euros.
So Greg, just to stop you for a minute here, everybody. So just so you know, for you who are guests, all at the top here, these are the different packages that you can get into the system with. and Greg's going to start with the 4,500 here. Go ahead, Greg.
I'm assuming you've lost about $50,000. So I'm trying to restore that 50,000 is why I'm using this package. Okay.
Right.
So
Okay.
we end up with enough asset that if it does go from half a cent to 15 cents, you're going to have that 50,000.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Yes.
that's what I'm trying to communicate here.
Okay.
So this multi-pack that this company is selling, this gold company is selling, for 4,500. I'm not sure exactly the translation to US dollars. I think it's about $5,000, something like that.
Yeah, think so.
You get 7,400 EP points. Well, what's an EP point? It's like a voucher. We've got a store that sells all sorts of automotive parts, and when you go through the counter, they give you a little piece of paper. And it's called the store is called Canada Tire, right? And so as you exit, you're given a little piece of paper with like 5 cents or 10 cents or 25 cents. That Canadian Tire dollar, you can come back into the store and buy another thing off their shelves. Now you can't take it to other stores. It has to be bought from them.
Okay. Okay.
So that 4,500 gives you 7,400 EP points, or these vouchers.
Okay.
Their value, you see that red box? The EP is worth 10 cents.
Okay.
So each one of those coins is worth 10 cents. So at 10 cents, 7,400 times 10 cents. Are you good with your math? You know what that would be?
What is it? 740?
740.
740. Now see the next box where it says KBC is 0.005, half a cent?
Yes.
So how many half-cent coins could you buy with 740?
14. Well, how much would that be?
You'll see it on the top here in the.
Oh, right there. Gotcha. Okay. 148,000.
148,000.
100.
Now, if that coin did what the previous coin did in that 14, where it went from half a cent to 15 cents,
Yes.
what would that be worth?
$22,200.
22.2. So that's about half of what you lost would be recovered, correct?
Right.
Right now, that coin is on sale for 0.002. So you would end up not with 148,000 coins.
It'd be more than that.
You would double it.
Wow.
And if you doubled it, your 22,000 would become what?
Oh, yeah. Double that.
Double that.
22.
And that's in
Double that.
euros. And so times 1.3, there's your 50,000 US.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, it's
I'm
not
getting some
guaranteed.
hope.
It's not guaranteed. But
Right.
man, that's a hell of a lot better than it rolling down the street into the gutter where you can't even do nothing. Your financial planner, does he have a plan that even will give remotely the possibility of the possibility if everything worked out perfectly? And yet, Quenna, here you have in a hand with a product that has a history that is redeemable by gold, that if you understand what's creating the value from going from a half a cent to 15 cents, you would be blown away. It's not just a coin that stores value. It's actually got a utility that's going to drive the value. So let me ask you, you've got $200,000, you've lost $50,000. You turn a little portion of it into gold to stabilize it so no more bleeding, no more into the street.
Yeah.
And then you get the possibility of these coins that if you take a little bit more of that 200, I'm talking 5%, not gazillions. We're talking $6,000 or something like that. That may be lost over the next 2 months and in the gutter. Well, rather before it's lost, take it and put it in a different asset, which is a tier 1 crypto, so that you would, at least you have in your mind a logical way that you could see it being restored. And now you're hoping that it will, as opposed to just living with fear and disappointment and anxiety. And there's nothing you go from nothing you can do with your two hands and with the assets you have to something you can do. The first piece will absolutely, because of history, stop the bleeding. And the second one will give you a real possibility of restoring what you've lost. And it's not going to take you 40 years to recover it, Quenna.
Wow.
And everybody, I just want to put an injection in here. Now, we who are already in the system have great confidence in it because we understand it. You can go find other videos that will tell you this in detail, that Carrot Bars has created an entire ecosystem, from the gold mine to the bank to the exchange to the commerce system. And it's all integrated and it's all based in gold. And that's why we have such confidence in that, and in our heart of hearts. Greg, I don't think it's going to go to 15 cents. I think it's going to just rise above $1 and beyond.
Well,
but
here's the thing.
I like how you're being cautious, so we don't have
I mean,
pie in
all
the
those
sky
other
here.
coins, Quenna. Greg, can you go back to the Bitcoin, the other cryptos?
Yeah.
Well, the other way. Yep. One more. One there. Okay. So Quenna, I'm not saying that this coin's going to go to 10,000 or $79 or $132 or 200. I'm saying even if we get to the $2.70, I just said 15 cents. Yeah. What happens if this coin, when it gets traction like these ones did when they were first getting started? Because there was a time every one of these coins you could have paid half a cent for.
Yeah.
And even if it went to the first column and not this insane one that we have here, so it was about 150,000. If you had 300,000, you have your computer there still, Quenna? One more time, Greg. Sorry, just give me a second, buddy.
Yeah, 300,000.
Yeah, you've got 300,000 coins that you've paid about 5,000 US for, something like that.
Okay.
If they went to $2 and let's take the lowest one, the 73 cents. What would your 300,000 coins be worth?
219,000.
Now, is that recovery, or is that not only recovery, but now you're talking about trust fund for your kids and your bucket list?
Well, it sounds too good to be true. I see what's happening with these other coins and all that. This is amazing.
It's a $6,000 play or a $5,000 play that will put you in the position that, and there's no guarantee. I mean, the world could go upside down and whatever. But if it did, Quenna, would that give you a sense to put a smile on your face rather than tears in your eyes?
Yes, absolutely.
Now, here's the thing. The second part I said to you is, with a little bit of additional income, cash flow into your family at this time, help you? Would that make a difference?
Yes, I don't even know if I'm going to have a job tomorrow.
Yeah. So if you understand the value of what I just presented to you, how many people do you know are in the same position you were 10 minutes ago that had no answer? And even though we haven't implemented, you can see logically, there's a possibility that if you were to take it to them and they were to go through their due diligence and perhaps position themselves, do you think you would have given them value to give them peace rather than this craziness that we're all would that be valuable for them?
Yes, it would be very valuable for them.
Here's economics 101. To the degree of value that you give another person, you are rewarded direct proportion to it.
Mm.
And therefore, if you were able to help 10, 15, 20, 30 people, I'm going to show you by helping 30 people directly and indirectly, the sort of money that would put into your household in this next month or two. Fair enough?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so your commission on that, it's 75%, it's 10% of 75%. So it's $337. Now you could use that to buy food and things of that nature, okay?
Right.
or you could use it to buy more assets or gold.
So Greg, just to be clear, you're now talking about helping, you get yourself one of these packaged, and there's in the system, you're talking about helping other people now come into this system with a package.
If you take that same value that
Okay.
you are now realizing to someone else, and it's a very simple plan. I was able to do it in 10 minutes. And yes, you have to do a little bit of due diligence searching, but I mean, you understand the foundation of that.
Yes.
Assuming that that's all what we've said is not only true, but you act on it and you get that self from tears to hope, okay?
Yes.
And then you take that to others. I'm going to show you what this company will financially reward you in assets and cash and gold and coin. So they'll give you cash on a MasterCard debit card. Now you can use that if you were to go internally and buy coins with that, and they were half a cent. How many coins would that be, Quenna?
Whoops, sorry.
You want me to do my calculator?
No, it's right here, right the line below, Quenna.
We've done it for you.
Oh, you done it.
Okay.
Yeah.
7, 4. Okay.
You would be given 67,400 coins.
On
If you
top
turn that-
of what I already got.
If you turn the commission into coins through the system.
Gotcha.
Now you can take the commission and use it as cash to help the bill, but they are also going to give you literally enough EP points or these 10-cent notes that you could turn them into 18,000 coins.
Right here at the bottom. So are you saying, Greg, that this system rewards you with cash that you can
Yes.
use for eggs, or you can turn it into coins? It rewards you with coins, and I see at the bottom there, 1 gram, it rewards you in gold as well?
That's correct. So you get 3 paychecks, Quenna. When's the last time you went to work and you got 3 paychecks?
I don't know that I ever have, to be honest.
Okay. And so the first paycheck, which is the cash, gets on a prepaid MasterCard that you can take anywhere and use as money, okay?
Okay.
The second one is these digital coins that you can have in your wallet that will increase in, it's like an asset that will give you a greater leverage on the future, okay?
Okay.
And
So
the
that's kept
third,
in your digital wallet. Yeah.
yeah. So this is a 1/10 of a gram worth about $5.
Yeah. And
They
that's
actually
real
pay
gold?
real gold.
Okay.
Now we have, the cash gold ATMs where you get 20s out of?
Yeah.
There's going to be a way that you can take your digital asset to that machine and scan it, and let's say once a month, spit out 20, 30, or 40 of these, depending on what your commission. So you actually get paid in gold, you get paid in cash, and you get paid in the asset of this cryptocurrency.
Oh my goodness.
So let's just add that up. Well, they're all right there. Either the 330, and this is just for one, and I'm not going into 7th generation. It starts not just with the package that you sell, but it goes generationally, okay? So we'll get into it, but I just want to talk to you about what you can do with your own 2 hands,
Okay.
whether or not someone else comes after you, okay?
Yeah.
Because we can't always rely on other people. We can rely on ourselves. So I just want to show you the simplicity of what the value for you. Okay, great. Can we go to the next one?
Wonderful.
So here's in a nutshell. This is true in about 80% of the time. There were, on that previous screen, there was packages. So Greg, can we just step back 1 second? We didn't actually. So the smallest package there is what?
150.
Yeah. Okay. So there's 150. So that's what I call the 150, the 285, the 575, and the 1950. I'm calling those small packages. And the 2 other ones, the 3,000 and the 4,000, I'm talking, those are the large packages, okay?
Okay.
So let's go to the next screenshot. So whether you sell them directly or your team sells them, 30 small packages will get you between $2,000 and $3,000.
Wow.
So Greg, just to set the scenario here, so you mean that I have the so we're talking 30 people here when we say that 30, okay?
Mhm.
So I have the possibility, for example, as someone who comes into the system, I can share this with 5 others. They come into the system, and those 5 people share it with 5 others. Now, I know that's the ideal, but it is happening. It has happened. It can even happen to a greater degree. But that's how we come up with that 30, okay?
Yeah, so that's either personal or referrals that are doing it for the same reason. Here's what I've discovered, Quenna. Once a person goes from tear and fears to hope and security,
Yeah.
you can't stop them talking about it. It's far too, like, try stop them. So this is not something that you have to push. This is something that you have to take the time with an individual, one person, and help them stabilize. And this can be accomplished, Quenna, through the process of setting up in about 7 days.
Wow.
In about 7 days, now the gold will be in a vault in Germany that you'll be able to bring over time, but you'll have actually turned it into a physical. And if you want to fly to Germany, you can actually physically pick it up, okay? But it will.
Hey, Greg, I got to tell you a quick story here. A guy came to my home. I went to the shop, the silver gold shop yesterday, because I do other things there. And I said, how much silver do you have? 0. What about gold? Very little. And the prediction is coming true. I don't know about Europe yet, but the prediction has always been, when it happens, you won't be able to get gold and silver. And yet a guy came to my house here the other day. He spent, it's a lot, but he spent 100,000 Canadian dollars and ordered gold and locked in that value.
Yep.
Wow.
Keep going.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
So Quenna, is toilet paper flying off the shelf in your area?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, big time.
So if people realizing this crisis can empty the shelves of toilet paper, what are they going to do when they realize the bank might have a holiday and start running out and clean out the bank? And what happens when the gold, when they start to have the same fear, what's to say that the gold and silver are going to be cleaned out? And even though you now know what you know, if you can't physically get it done, you'll be in a worse spot because you had the answer and the inability to do it. And so the value of what I want to do with you is set you up an online that you can, in an unlimited manner, do this with a company in Germany. And yeah, the gold will take a while to get to you, but the actual going from cash to gold is done as soon as that wire transfer hits their desk.
So you do everything online?
I do everything online.
Excellent.
So 1 through 5, 30 packages directly or indirectly. Quite frankly, my goal personally, the last time I did this, I helped 35 people. I'm going to do this again. I'm looking to personally help what I'm doing with you to sit down and take the time and make sure it's done as expediently as I can, 30 of my own.
Wow.
Because I'm in control of that. I need that $2,000, $3,000 right now because I'm not working either.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
I can absolutely. Now, the fact that some of those people will get inspired and run, it may run it to 150. There's a real possibility that if I see it and I can do it, 3 or 4 or 5 other people, if I get 150 small packages in the next month or 2, that's 15 grand euros.
Man.
So this virus thing might be 3 months where people are off for 3 months. Perfect. Everyone's at home in fear and you've got the time and they've got the time. Why wouldn't this happen? This should happen.
Well, Greg, listen, you're a good talker. You know about gold. You know about all this.
Exactly.
What's the person going to do who's they're kind of quiet and shy? They need to do this, but they're quiet and shy. They're not you.
Oh, they can be put on a video like this, but honestly, Greg, I'll tell you something. Quenna, if you 7 days from now had peace and security and hope, would you need a script to communicate to someone that you knew, at least in the concept that you've got security and hope? And if that let me introduce you to a fellow that helped me and he can help you. I may not be able to, but I know where I was 7 days from now. This is where I am. And if you are in that crisis, I've got someone who can help you, and we would do it for you. Would that be doable?
Yes, it'd be doable. It would definitely be doable.
And so, you know, that 150 then becomes, perhaps you find someone who's a version of me and Greg, who not only can do it, but then can communicate it and sees it as their play, that they go at, like, with, maybe they know wealthy people and, you know, bigger circles, and they can knock this thing out quicker than you can I get out of bed.
That's right.
And so just one more screenshot there, Greg, just go back, sorry. Now that's with the small packages, Quenna. There's going to be some that want the package that I told you about because they need that 300,000 or the 150,000 or 300. That's what they need to recover because their losses have been greater, and they need to have enough coin so that if it does move, their loss can be retrieved. That makes sense?
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
by the way, Greg, this can be in a 3-month period. This can be in a 1-month period. This can even be in a 1-week period. There's no limits on this. Yeah.
So let's say directly and indirectly, you help 30 people get that larger package because they need to recover somewhere between 50 and 100,000. So it's proportionate. Okay.
Okay.
Well, for doing that, that's the 10 grand. Would 10 grand, which is, would that help? If you were able to do that in a 3-month period until you got back to work, would that help out?
I can't believe it. Like, I'm amazed at this. I can't believe in one conversation the hope that I've got.
Yeah.
Wait till
Seriously.
you actually have it in your hand and you actually do it. I promise you, there is a difference between words and reality.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
amazing.
The last question is, let's say that coin goes to, you know, 15 cents and you've got that 50,000 or that 100,000. Do you know what a prepaid debit card is?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So instead of paying it with loading with your US currency,
Yeah.
you can load it. You can take the value that newfound value in that digital asset.
Yeah.
You can turn it into gold and have it sent to you as gold, or you can put it into the bank and they can turn it into euros, which means you can take this card and you can use it in any store that takes MasterCard globally.
Oh my goodness. So it's
140
as easy
nations.
as that.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's that, dear?
What'd you say, Greg? Gary?
I said 140 nations. You know, when this
Wow.
thing clears and we're back flying again, it's
Yeah.
good around the world.
That's
So
awesome.
it's easy to get into crypto. It's easy to get into gold. It's hard to use it to buy food. This solves that problem for you, dear.
That's what I was thinking. Like, how do I use this gold if I do, you know, besides maybe go to a gold bullion dealer and get my fiat currency?
You can
Wow.
do that, but because we have a 360 solution, right now, people that own crypto, they've got to take it to an ATM and it spits out the money, right?
Okay.
It's a hassle,
Yeah.
right? This card, they can load this card with their crypto and use it. The merchant doesn't know that you didn't put your US dollar onto it. They don't care.
Yes. The
Okay.
debit card changes everything that
Debit
we're
card
going to
changes
have,
everything.
right?
And now let me ask you one more question. Let's say that you were able to recover your wealth and you had it in a bank, and now the government gets in trouble and they need to take your savings to pay for their bills, and they just give you an IOU that you can only draw on that bank account $200 a day. Are you excited about that proposition?
That's called a bail-in, everybody. It's actually legally in your banking contract now. Okay, go ahead, Greg.
So Quinta, let's say you had a recovery and you now had an asset and you took care of your house and your finances and that you developed a strategy to recover. And now you're recovered,
Right.
but they haven't, and they've got to come take yours and all the other citizens to pay for their misguided policies. Are you excited about that?
No, I'm not excited. That's terrible.
It's terrible. So we've got a device. If you could take all that wealth
Okay.
and put it into a digital form that's not held in your bank computer, but on 10,000 computers on the internet called the blockchain that no one could get to,
Yeah.
and so your wealth would be absolutely protected, would that give you a peace of mind that your wealth that you had worked so hard, could it be just one day locked out of the bank, shut down the ATM, killed your credit card, or removed?
Mm.
Would that be of value?
Yeah.
Would you pay $10 a month in coin to have that security?
Absolutely.
Would you pay a $1,500, $2,000 for a device that gives you the ability to do that, so you have your own bank and your own access hardware?
Yeah. Pay that, if not more, for my.
And how about right now, we're talking about sovereignty and gold and, Fed, and all this is totally legal. It's, we're recording because this is all legal. What happens in 5 years if all of a sudden anyone that's talking about gold and sovereignty and blockchain becomes a perceived enemy of the state, and you're dragged into a court and saying, here's the evidence, because they've got it all recorded? Are you okay with them recording everything so that can be used against you if they change their mind?
That's crazy. No.
How would you like to have in this same device the ability, so long as the person you were talking to, not everyone needs it, but the people that you talk to and want your private conversation, and you don't, that as of 2 months from now, let's say there was a transition between your regular cell phone and this,
Yeah.
and the recording would end. There would be no more your voice saying any, and say, look, I reformed. No, I decided that, all this thing was evil. I love my government and my currency, and I put my full, and I'm, that was 5 years ago, Your Honor. How would you like that to be the digital record, where it goes from that to absolutely nothing?
So we
In
have the
Texas.
world's first voice over blockchain phone and computer system to protect your digital world in the Karatbar's gold standard bank system. So
Okay,
pretty
so
amazing.
now we're gone from recovery to possibilities. Quenna, if things got super crazy and there was no way, the pressure was getting too great, how would you like to be able to get on take this, do that, jump on a plane, and wherever you got to wherever you're getting, put that sucker back in, and all your equity is with you?
Oh, that would be amazing.
No
In other words,
limitations of the
you wouldn't have to line your
$10,000 quarter.
pockets. You wouldn't have to line your pockets with the money or the gold, right? You could put it in a digital form. Yeah, you would have some on you. I'm going on a vacation. I got 10 grand on me, money and whatever.
Yeah.
But what's in here is your other 250, and that's sovereignty, which means freedom of travel, not just of your voice and that, through this device.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Really.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So we've gone from absolute uncertainty to security to freedom in one conversation that's taken us probably a little bit longer than I should have.
Oh my
Now,
God.
let me ask the questions that seemed impossible 15 minutes ago. What would the peace of mind be worth to you, Quenna?
Everything.
How do you do that? Acquire gold. Is that doable, Quenna?
Yep.
Second question. What would you do like to stop the bleeding in your financial world? And do you have a plan to recover your losses? 15 minutes ago, you said it's impossible. Acquire digital gold. Is that possible, Quenna?
Yeah.
For
Yes.
a few $1,000s. And would you like to bring some cash flow to help your family with the pain until there's a reset?
I love the idea of definitely bringing cash flow and then helping everybody else do the
What
same
does it
thing.
say? How do you do that, Quenna? What's the answer?
Help others do number 1 and number 2.
Could you do that?
Absolutely, I could do it.
15 minutes ago, we were talking about not an impossibility. What would look like was a devastating situation that there was nothing that you could do. And 50 minutes later, everything that I've laid out, you absolutely, especially if you've got help, and we're here to help you. We'll set you up. We'll set it up. It takes about an hour to set up. It's a matter of you liquidating some stuff and turning it into it. And then there's a simple process of getting one of these packages. You pick the one. I've got people that are buying multiple of those packages because they need, like, they've lost $200,000. So they needed like 7 of those or whatever. We can show you how to do that and help them. And if you are just willing in this moment of crisis, take a simple solution that is, see, a solution, an answer is not valid unless it's doable. And I'm hoping you are seeing and getting inside your spirit that there's something you can do. You may not fully understand it. And yeah, there's stuff that has to happen, but I promise you, as you do it, and if you will allow us to do this for you, you will get to that place. And then if you're willing to take that to others and allow us to take it and help you do it, because I understand you don't know how to set everything up. We do. I'll do 95% of the work and you'll make 95% of the benefit. Is that a fair deal?
That's awesome. And if I know that I've got you there with me, I'm totally good. Oh my goodness. This is awesome. I mean, look at the chat. People, do y'all love this or what? Now, I want to say, I want to make sure that everybody knows, and anybody that's here that may be a guest or whatever, we did talk about like some of the income side, and I want to make sure, because I didn't have an income disclaimer here, but we're not guaranteeing that you would, it's all about the effort that you would put into it. But we showed the numbers of what is possible whenever you do that. And if you were based on our compensation plan, those are the numbers that would take place.
Well, here's what I can say to you, Quinta, okay? Just from my personal testimony. 2 years ago, I was injured.
Okay.
I was sitting in a doctor's office looking at a double amputation.
Oh my God.
My possibility of continuing as a contractor for that I'd done for 20 ended in about a 10-minute conversation.
Mm.
He was sweating for 2 hours, cleaning out the wounds that were full. The room was just, and fast track for surgery. Thank God that the wound and the bacteria and the gangrene didn't get into the bone. And through some very, very good care over the course of the year, I'm starting to get my mobility back. Some long ways to go. It's a long story, but this virus thing that stops people from working, I was told January 6th, that was it, period. No, ever. Not 3 weeks, not 3 months. And I was able to help 35 people get that first digital gold coin when it first came out at 50 cents.
Wow.
I helped 30 of which just got the coin because they were buying gold. 5 went and talked. And as a result of that, not because of my wealth or ability to buy, but because I was willing to help people get a solution that made sense to them, and the generosity of Harold Sites and Carrot Bars, I acquired more assets that has done more for my financial future. I went from the possibility of having to move in a trailer in my brother's back on his pad, and living off his good graces, to where 2 years later, with the run of this coin and where it's going, I have the legitimate possibility of being the safe haven for my entire family. And I had the privilege 2 days ago, Quenna, when the tears of this loss were my mother's. So don't worry, Mom. I got your back. And yeah, I want to help you, but whether she does or not, I've got her back.
Yeah.
And I've got my back, my brothers, my 2 brothers and my 2 sisters and their extended kids. Why? Because I found something that was legitimate. And because of the generosity of Harold Sites, the amount he gave me in commission was more than I had been able to do myself, Quenna, working 6 days a week for 40 years.
I'm with you. I totally get it. But my goodness, what a story.
And we have that opportunity for everyone on this call. If you put your heart and you put and you get your eyes off yourself, yes, solve your own. You can't feed others if you're hungry. So get yourself protected. Talk to the person that get yourself an account set up. Figure out how much you could turn into physical gold. Figure out how much you need in the digital for the hope. I'm telling you right now, though, make sure you get that gold component, because there is no risk on that. The default in cash is super risky. The gold play, get that done. And then figure out, okay, what have I lost? How much coin? And if you don't have enough coins, then take this to other, and you will be given the coins that you can be restored.
That's right.
I don't care if you only can buy $100 worth of gold and get 1,000 coins. That doesn't stop you from taking this offer to the people that have great loss and great wealth and supporting them. And as a result of that, you'll do more for your financial, and this great adversity that we're all facing that is real can become your great opportunity that not only will right your ship, but then could possibly set up legacy wealth. Legacy, because there is a massive transfer of wealth that's occurring. And I encourage you, get the sponge of gold and get the hope of digital gold. Anyhow, that's my deal.
Yes.
And Quinn, I know you're doing a call to action here, but I just want to add one thing. You know, some people on the call, some guests that are going to look at this video, they're going to say, oh my God, how can I do this? Don't think like that. Greg gave you some instructions on your vision, but you're surrounded by a cloud of witnesses. You have people on your team, and they'll just point you in a direction, and all you need to do is open your mouth and begin speaking, and the system will wrap itself around you, and this thing will propagate. So just whoever brought you here, just talk to them and say, just tell me what to do and I'll go do it. Quinta, it's yours.
Everyone, I mean, I'm kind of I'm so amazed. I think the best thing that could have happened is that thought that I had about having the Gregs with us today, bringing hope, bringing the same information that we know, but delivered in just another way. I love, hearing the repetition. I love hearing the way that you laid it out. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful presentation. I want you guys to know that, and for all of you, you're here for a reason. You are here as divine appointment, in my opinion, because we're bringing hope. So if you're here today and you're a guest or whatever, please, please, please do not hesitate in getting your free account. Get it opened up. Get back to the person that sent you here. Register your account. Take advantage of these systems that we were talking about today. And then, we've got webinars, live meetings, conferences, team pages where you can use, and the person that referred you here can get you in contact with all of that. Listen, one of the biggest things, y'all, that I was nervous about was, would I really have that support? Was it really a system that I could do? Because I was already so busy. And man, what I loved about it is that it literally, y'all, I just wanted to make enough income to get my money back on my package, or, and I love the idea of getting gold. But when I got that back, because of the efforts that I did in 2 weeks, I started realizing, and I told Russ, I said, oh my goodness, I think this is bigger than anything that I didn't know, but the simple systems that we have, everyone, that, where and the products that we've got, to where not only I love the picture of a sponge being squeezed out and having our sponge to catch it. Okay. And I think that that's so awesome. And then I love how you presented the idea of the multi-packs and getting what we can do with those E-points to get those coins. Amazing. To help recoup the losses that we've had. It's kind of like it gives back some of your time and effort that you've done of all of that you lost. It gives it back to you, right? And so it's amazing. you guys, I'm serious. From the bottom of my heart, I'm so happy that you were with us today.
For such a time as this, we have been raised up to give hope to the hopeless.
Yeah.
Leadership is really refined in crisis.
Yeah.
When things are going well, it's either to chatter. It's when people are on their knees. And here's how I think, Quenna. Tonight in my area that I live, there was 100,000 couples on their knees in tears praying for an answer in what's an impossible situation.
Right.
And we can step in with one phone call. And we have to go a little bit slow because what we're saying seems impossible beyond impossible. But as you're sitting there in the same space, and the world has not changed, and the bug hasn't backed off, and but your world is now changed.
That's right. That's right. All of ours. I mean, we had well over 200 people here. And I think even affiliates that have been with Carrot Bars, this was a brand new hope for them. Because sometimes you get lost in the, like in the busyness and the fear and all of that of everything that's coming at us. And so I think for guests today, definitely bringing hope, but for the affiliates, also bringing hope to know and give that reassurance that we are in the right place. We're in the right place. And for 6 years, 6 years, we have been saving. I'm talking about for affiliates that have been in, or for however long that you've been in, for such a time as this. We're in a crisis right now, right? And so now what we've been leading up to, now we're here. And then for people that don't have gold, what a beautiful way, Greg, that you said, do it now. Do it now. You can still do it. It may take you a bit to get it from Germany, but you've got it. You've got it secured at that price. You've got it in your account.
I had someone fly to Germany, let them know that they had an appointment, and they picked up the gold that was in their vault. So this is not, if you need that sense of security, well, we got to wait till the planes fly again. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And Quinnie, the most valuable things we can do for our existing team is give them clarity to the value that's in their hand. Make sure that they are all protected. Make sure they're in the benefit of what we just talked about. So they first have got their own situation resolved and hope, and then wild horses would not stop this team from taking this out there.
That's right.
Hey, Quenna, there's a lot of requests for, hey, when's the recording going to be out? There's also requests to do this again. So we'll get in the back scene and talk about that. But the sooner you get that recording out, the better. It really is time.
Yeah.
Juicy seminar, juicy webinar here today. Amazing job, Greg and Quenna.
Yes.
And come on, let's get out there and share the love. Okay.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope that y'all have found it as value. If you're a guest today, make sure that you don't hesitate getting your account. Let's get you started. At noon or at 1:00 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have our ACES training today. It's going to be awesome. So you want to tune in for that. And then don't forget about our weekly Monday night huddle, where we'll have all of our corporate updates, training tips, and all that. It's awesome. That's our staff meeting. So you don't want to miss that. That's Monday night, 9:00 p.m. Eastern, 8:00 p.m. Central. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Enjoy your time with your families. Stay safe. And we'll be talking to you soon, seeing you around. Love you guys. Y'all have a great weekend.